Welcome to the presentation for my project. My name is John Makepeace. I'm a senior functional analyst with the workforce management team at OptumServe. My project is to migrate the workforce management communications platform from a Microsoft product known as Skype for Business to another Microsoft product known as Teams before November 1st, which is the end of support date and application cutoff date that has been set by our IT department. The first and probably the most important thing when starting a project is to have a clear vision of your project's success, or how to get to your success. In this case, for this particular project, it's pretty simple. On the left, you have a screenshot of Skype for Business. That's the existing platform. And on the right, you have a screenshot of Microsoft Teams. That's the platform that we're migrating to. In a nutshell, this is what we're doing. Now, as is typical of most projects, you have to measure your quality, or what you want to get out of your project, against the iron triangle: cost, scope, and time. The running joke is you can choose two, but you can't have the third. So in this instance, we are most limited by time. So cost and scope are the thing that we have the most control over. So in this instance, again, because it's an internal project, labor, and in our world, in my org, it's FTE hours is how we track labor. And so it's labor to plan it, and labor to develop it and build it, then labor to develop and deliver the training, which also includes project documentation of how to use the product, all that extraneous, the follow-on sort of things, the support documentation, if you will, for how to deploy the product to the user base. And then finally, the cost of the actual software and licensing. And in our case, that cost is borne by IT. We're not having to pay for it. The scope of this project is limited strictly to the migration of the workforce department chat rooms. The greater org uses this Skype product and is migrating to Teams, but my project is only migrating the WFM chat rooms. The November 1st deadline is a very strict deadline. It's basically a drop dead date. So that's end of life very soon after that, and we have to be done. So the quality for this is, are we done? Is it successful? Is it timely? Is it minimal? Is it a deployment with minimal service disruption to the existing teams and no actual operational impacts to our internal and external customers? So, how do you accomplish this? In my world, plan the work and then you work the plan. It's that simple. Start with a project charter, and then I went to a work breakdown structure, mapped out all the different tasks, all the different phases of tasks that needed to be accomplished, all the dependencies, and then from that document here on the left, I was able to create a network diagram and get project timings, and then also a critical path. General rules for me for how to succeed in project management: people and process, communication, training, stakeholder management, more communication, recognition of the work that people do. Your project team is how the work is getting done, so recognition of how they're doing things is very important. And also more communication, requirements gathering, communicating changing needs, changing participants in the project even. I've worked projects that have gone on for years that have none of the original members left. I'm on a project like that right now. Process, project charter, that's a great tool. Identify what you're trying to get out of the project before you even start. Earn value analysis. How much value are you getting out of this project as you're going along? Risk analysis. What kind of risks are you going to have in this project? Are they positive? Are they negative? Additionally, how can you avoid risk, or how can you mitigate it, or how can you transfer it? Project lifecycle management. That's another important tool. Finally, on this list, budget. How do you track it? Forecast to actual, your burn rate, your spend. Keep an eye on that, because finance is going to want to know, and the execs are going to want to know as well. Finally, when you're closing down the project and you're saying your goodbyes and you're releasing staff back to their day jobs, there's a tool I like from Lean Six Sigma, and it's actually not so much a tool as a concept from Japanese culture. It's called Hansei, and the word Hansei means reflection or meditation. And what it is that when you've completed something, or when you finished doing something, you think back on it and you learn from it. What went well? What could be done differently next time? How can you take the learnings and use them to make your process better, or make whatever you're doing better? It's that drive for continuous improvement in process. That's what Hansei is, a key component in that. And that's a very good thing to do at the end of projects. I hope you found this informative, and I hope you learned something about my project. Thank you.